Yes, guys. You're locked into another episode of the Red Sea podcast. And tonight it is the West Ham preview. But we'll be keeping track of the Everton-Boreham Wood game. Everton currently lead Boreham Wood 1-0 after Solomon Rondon goal. So we'll be keeping track of that and giving you the results on that particular fixture as well. But without further ado, let's get into the meat and the bones. West Ham versus Liverpool. Let's go.
Tell the world we are Liverpool, champions of England.
We've conquered all of Europe. We're never gonna stop. From Palestine to Turkey, we've won the fucking lot. But Paisley and the Shankly, the fields of Anfield gold. We are all supporters, and we come from Liverpool.
Welcome back, guys. We're locked into another episode of the Red Sea podcast. I am your host, Tiago's father, and I'm joined by my glamorous assistant, Courtney B, and my co-founder, co-host, the main man himself, Southern Scouser.
Less so glamorous.
I'm not very glamorous today. Look at this.
I meant me, not you. I'm the less glamorous one.
Right, guys, before we get tucked into the show, I want to give a massive shout out to the Hillgrounds Massive. My boys from Hillgrounds. We all grew up on a little estate in Bedford and had dreams of kicking a football for the top division Premier League sides and playing and earning a living out of this game. But one of our good friends from long term and long back, Tyrone Marsh, is currently representing Boreham Wood in the FA Cup. Fourth round tie? Fifth round tie against the Blue Scum, and currently Everton win. So Everton are winning 1-0. I am rooting for Ty because he's a sensational striker, and it's good to see one of your own make it through. But as I said, currently Everton are winning at the moment at home at Goodison. 60 minutes played Everton 1-0 up. But Ty, come on, my man. You did it for fun when we were younger. You did it for fun when we were younger, and you was bagging goals on that football pitch. So I'm hoping you're gonna turn it on and bag one against Everton, man, and put these scummy Blues out of the cup and give me some banter for the foreseeable. But few bits of housekeeping. Make sure you are liking and you are subscribing to the Red Sea podcast. And like I said on the last show, it seems like we are on the way to 600. Like we've been on this journey to 600 subscribers forever. We are nearly there. Make sure you are one of those. We are also on Twitter as well, going across the bottom of your screen as well. The Red Sea podcast. You can't miss us on Twitter. Loads of interesting bits going on there as well. Obviously YouTube, which you watch us now on as well. Instagram, we're on there as well. TikTok, we're on there too. We are on all the platforms, so make sure you are locking in and following us on there. But without further ado, let's talk West Ham, Liverpool, SS. Yeah. Please give us the head-to-heads.
Yeah, so obviously defeat last time out. So it's a massive stop on the revenge tour for me, this one. 3-2 defeat. Alisson with an own goal. Pablo Fornals and Kurt Zouma scoring the goals for West Ham back in November, which feels like a bit of a turning point. I know we had that Leicester defeat in there as well, but we seem to have really turned a corner since those couple of performances. So hopefully we managed to continue our fantastic form going forwards. Before that, we played them back in January 2021, again away last season. 3-1 victory that time with Salah getting 2 and Gini Wijnaldum, blast from the past on the score sheet. And the last time we hosted them in the Premier League, obviously we're at home this weekend as well. Again, it was a victory for Liverpool, 2-1, Salah and Jota on that day. Before the loss to them in November, we had actually gone on pretty good unbeaten run. We hadn't lost to them since 2016, so I think it was about 10-game undefeated streak up until that game in November. But one good stat, David Moyes has never actually won a game at Anfield. So long may that continue.
Yes, long may it continue heading into the weekend's fixtures. I mean, there's a lot to get our teeth into, really. So look, Everton were just in there. Sorry. Obviously, we're going to keep you up to date with the Everton game as well. But there's quite a bit to get our teeth into, really, in regards to the preview of this particular show. Few bits buzzing around as well. I mean, West Ham's current form hasn't exactly been amazing. If you look at the last two games, back-to-back defeats, one in the Premier League and also out of the FA Cup. as well at the hands of Southampton. So they're on a bit of a bad run. 2 wins in the Premier League in the last 5, culminating in 1 loss and 2 draws. So it's not great form from West Ham. Currently sitting 5th in the table, I believe, trying to secure that European spot, because they are trying to become that kind of European team. Just slightly outside of the top 4. In with the top 6, and you have to give a bit of credit to David Moyes. The return to the club has seen their fortunes really, really turn round. I mean, Courtney, I'll come to you first. What do you think about sort of the West Ham revival? This could potentially be the second season that they finish in and around the European spaces, if they're able to do it this year, and they are playing some decent football.
Yeah, I mean, I think Moyes has done all right. I think a lot of United fans are probably kicking themselves that they sacked him. I think he's doing quite good. I think with the players that he's got as well, they have had a bit of shit though lately with the whole Kurt Zuma situation, so that's not been too great. Even the owners had a lot of shit from that, but that seems to have blown over a little bit, I think, now. Even though I think Chris Wood was meowing at him, wasn't he? When we played against Newcastle. But yeah, I think they've been doing quite well. I think if they secure it, then fair play. But it's all to fight for, really, isn't it, down there?
Yeah, I don't know are you still with us, James, or are you completely gone? Here he is. He's back. No, he's gone again. Yeah. Not sure what he's up to today. But no, I agree with you, Courtney. I think, like you say, they kind of played Kurt Zuma like through that kind of cat gate, didn't they? I thought they might have dropped him out, but they seem to have played him all the way through. Some people agree, some people disagree, but I think, like you said, it's kind of
a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's kind of blown over now, isn't it?
So let's deep this whole cat gate thing, as SS referred to it, as a watershed moment. Cat gate. No, look. What were the images that we saw and the pictures that we saw on our screens and the videos that we saw on our screens of that sort of, look, it wasn't nice. I'm not going to sit here and proclaim to be an animal lover.
I'm an animal lover.
Because I'm not an animal lover, but I can't sit here and turn around and say that those images filled me with happiness, because it didn't. That's disgusting. It's a living thing. It's got feelings, it's got emotions. You can't be grabbing it and punching it and stuff like that, whether you're an animal lover or not. So that behavior, that's what I mean. That behavior from anybody, let alone a Premier League football player who should be a role model to young people and older people alike, we have to condemn those kind of actions. But do we feel that this is potentially being blown out of proportion? Only reason why I say, there was talk of sacking him. There was talk of ending sponsorship deals dropped by Adidas. Various different things occurred over that period of time where this incident occurred. Do we feel, and SS, I'm going to come to you, do we feel a slight overreaction from maybe the general public and maybe some of the sponsors surrounding West Ham? Because we see other incidents that happen, racism, for example. The fine that Kurt Zuma received was more than a fine a nation received, and I'm not going to name the nation, a nation received for racism towards the English national team. Do we feel that that the punishment was befitting, or that this could potentially have been blown out of proportion?
I think it's subjective to who's doing the fine and who's receiving the fine. So when you mention certain countries' FAs, that their income as a country, yes, is slightly different to an individual, but Kurt Zuma's on a lot of money. So in terms of what you're fining him, I think rather than the crime, and the punishment fitting the crime, I think you have to look at the proportion, like you would if you was to set bail for somebody. It depends on how, look at Mason Greenwood for an example. What he did was horrendous and in no way comparable to this, but you have to set, what they earn and work out what would actually affect them. So I think it's a horrible thing. It was ridiculous to put yourself in that position, and to be dropped by his sponsors and stuff like that, and the public outcry. I think he deserves it, but by no means should he have been sacked by West Ham. You don't lose your career and your job over that. It is poor. I think West Ham should have probably dropped him out the team for a couple of weeks and maybe fined him a couple of weeks' wages. I think maybe that is what happened, and I know he got a fine as well. So I think he got the right stuff happen to him, and hopefully a bit of education going forward, because he's not a young lad anymore. He should know way better than that. And for his brother to actually film it on Snapchat and put it online, I mean, beyond stupidity. But like you say, there's bigger things in life that you can do. And yes, I completely disagree with treating animals badly, but like you mentioned, James, racism, rape, things like this are not even comparable. So yeah, he's carried on in the team. We were just mentioning then, me and Courtney, that David Moyes made the decision to sort of play him through it rather than drop him out, and everybody just kind of got on with it. It was a big outcry for that week, wasn't it? And everything else kind of takes over, Ukraine, Russia, things like that, and things like what we've seen with Zuma kind of just get kind of brushed under the carpet. But he's on a little bit of a tightrope now. I think if he was to step out and do something else a little bit silly, I think there would be some serious questions about his future in the top level of the game.
Yeah, you make some really, really good points there. From my perspective, I think the punishment should be befitting of the crime, and there's no way to say that animal cruelty is okay, because it's not. But I do feel that a lot of people took the moral high ground with this, especially with trying to say he should be sacked. He shouldn't play for the club again. He shouldn't play top flight football or be a Premier League footballer. Let's be very clear. Being a Premier League footballer is not a privilege. It's not a privilege. These people work tirelessly. The hours that they give up, the dedication that they've put into it, nor is it by luck that you become a Premier League footballer. This is pure dedication, life's dedication that these individuals put into this, and they are working. It's a job for them. This is a livelihood. It's an income. I read an interesting thing about slightly off topic, Mark ter Stegen. He doesn't even like football. As a player that plays for Barcelona, Mark ter Stegen doesn't even, or rumor has it, doesn't even like football. Apparently, he hates the sport.
That's not true. That's not true, because the reason that people get so good at playing football is because they've got a passion for it. They love the game. Maybe he might have lost a bit of love for the game, but he definitely started off loving the game.
You say that, but some people. So if we look at it subjectively, you look at some of the decisions that some players make, like Oscar when he went to play in China. That decision was solely motivated, and he was in his peak years. He was 24 when he went to play in China. Yeah, he went for the money, not the love of the game. So sometimes,
but that's different, because at the end of the day,
why is it different?
Because obviously you do a job, you want to put food on the table for your family, support your family. A career as a footballer is quite short. It's not a long career. Yeah. So his thought process is obviously make as much money as he can.
Yeah.
Before he retires. So I get it. Yeah. It's still doing the job that he enjoys doing. It still could be the game that you love, but it's just a case of, I'm going to do what I love, but I'm going to earn absolute bank while I'm doing it. I would do it. Unless I could play for Liverpool.
It's me. It's me. I think it's me that's frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me loud and clear now, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. No, look, I get what you're saying, but I think there's context to this. And the reason why I think there's context to it is because sometimes you're blessed with a God-given talent, and you might utilize that talent and definitely work hard at it. But sometimes people do things they don't want to do because it earns them phenomenal sums of money. I wholeheartedly buy into that. And the point I'm going with this is that it's someone's livelihood. It's a job. But regardless of what we say, when we strip it back, this is someone's job. So this whole cancel culture, which we're now dealing with, which is becoming rife in the world, some of it rightly so, and some of it I do believe some people should be cancelled, i.e. the likes of Donald Trump, President Putin, people, do you know what I mean? Idiots, people like that. Yes, you should be cancelled. But I think cancel culture is really getting out of control. And it seems to be the go-to mechanism when we have any form of disgust. Whatever happened to reform? That's my thing. Whatever happened to reform? I think the game has a role to play in this. And like you said, SS, hopefully he's received some education. Hopefully he's received some real education.
Yeah.
Hopefully the correct authorities get involved and say, look, you need educating because that is not how you treat an animal, and that is disgusting behaviour. But doesn't mean you get.
came in. The RSPCA came in and educated him on it.
Yeah, and removed the cat, didn't they? I think the cat's been removed from his care.
Yeah.
Which again, the average Joe would probably, that would be like, yeah, we're taking the cat away from you, dude. You're going to court, and you're going to get whatever fine or whatever it may be, and we would never see it on the front pages of the newspaper again. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like we just need to apply a bit of context to these things. It was briefly 2-0 to Everton, and the goal was disallowed. So currently 1-0 to Everton against Boreham Wood. And Boreham Wood are actually playing some decent football. They've had a bit of a spell, but Everton have won the ball back again and are now back on the attack. Big shout out to you, Sean Barker Senior. We're going to get into all of this. Yeah, we're going to get into all of this. He's jumping the gun. So look, let's dissect obviously the West Ham game a little bit more. We've spoken about their current Premier League form and their current League Cup, also their FA Cup form, because they're obviously out of the FA Cup. SS, who are the danger men for West Ham? I mean, Gerard Bowen, and again, I still can't get the image of your face when we were on Redmen TV, almost, being sick in your mouth and having to hold it in at the sheer mention that Gerard Bowen was potentially linked with Liverpool Football Club. But there were a lot of sources to say that he was a player which Liverpool were linked with. And I think he is one of, if not their key danger man in terms of what West Ham look to do. What's your thoughts? Where does the threat come from West Ham?
No, I would agree. I mean, in my defence, a little bit, this is probably Bowen's best season of his career. And I think when we were on Redmen, it was pre-season, it was summer transfer window. So this is the first season he's looked like a top player. So I think he's got 12 goals, 9 assists, which is phenomenal, brilliant return. But I still feel he's one of those players that are in the perfect place. I think he suits West Ham perfectly. I think the expectation of him at West Ham is, can you score every other game? Can you score 1 in 3? And the fact that he's doing more than that, or just about that, makes him on this top pedestal. Whereas, you look at the players that Liverpool bring in, is Jared Bowen better than Luis Diaz, pound for pound, player for player against each other? For me, he's nowhere near. Luis Diaz is quicker than him. He's stronger than him. He's better than him on the ball. He's more skillful. He's better at dribbling. He's better at getting back and defending as well. So Jared Bowen is definitely their danger man. He set up their goal in the reverse fixture. He beat, I think, about 2 or 3 players way too easy. We should have probably brought him down before he played the striker through to score. But, Antonio's been out, been a bit out of goal scoring form as well, but he's back in the team. He scored last night in the FA Cup as well. So I think Bowen and Antonio linking up down that right-hand side is probably where the goal, if it does come, is going to come from. And of course, Declan Rice is the talisman, which Barker Senior mentions, who realistically, we need to get on him and close him down, because he, for me, is the difference. I think you take Rice out of that West Ham team, I think they become a mid-table side. I think Declan Rice is what takes them from 10th to, that outside European place. And they did start the season really, really well. Like you mentioned, they have kind of dropped off a little bit now, and the likes of United are ahead of them. Arsenal will be. They've got about 3 games in hand. I know Spurs have got a couple of games in hand on them as well. So I expect them to finish around the 7th and 8th mark, but still a phenomenal achievement. If you look at their actual 11, it's pretty bang average. So like Courtney said at the start, I think Moyes has done a cracking job.
I think Everton. I think West Ham are kind of testament to the fact that it's not about the individual it's not about the name that you bring in through the door. It's about the attributes of the player. The players which they've got, they're not household names. We look at Declan Rice. He wasn't a household name. He's kind of rose to prominence, the England recognition that he's been getting because of his time at West Ham. We look at players like Kufal, Bowen, Shuchek. We look at Mikel Antonio, Kurt Zuma being an example in there as well. Who's the lad that plays at left back for them? Or was it right back?
Cresswell.
He's a Cresswell. He's a Liverpudlian lad as well. Fabianski. All of these players, they're not exactly household recognizable names, but as a squad of or a band of 11, they're performing to a high standard. You could say that West Ham have been very, very good in the transfer market. They've been very good in the transfer market in terms of the business that they've brought in. And Jarrod Bowen, for me personally, and I stand by it, I think he would have been a fantastic acquisition to Liverpool Football Club because he has that tenacity. He wants to run at players. He wants to get people. He is what you would probably call a Klopp signing. He's not a household name, but he gives you everything that you would need. And I think under a manager like Jurgen Klopp, he would have flourished. Naturally, we've obviously gone in for more of a recognisable name. We want to be shopping in Harrods, as SS says, not in Lidl's nowadays. And we've been to Harrods and we've come out with a Diaz, which is absolutely sensational. There's no doubting that Diaz is a better, probably more accomplished player than Jarrod Bowen. But I do believe that a player like Bowen could have and would have had a role to play, in and around this Liverpool squad had we had pulled that or pressed that trigger. I mean, Courtney, what's your thoughts in regards to some of West Ham's threats and danger men? I mean, obviously we've spoken a little bit about Declan Rice. How do we nullify Declan Rice? Who would you play up against him to stop him getting that ball and doing some damage?
I feel like you're gonna have to put Hendo on him. Hendo. I feel like that's the other because he's the playmaker for West Ham. So if you stop him, I feel like we can neutralise the threat. I'm trying to think of the right word for it then.
Yeah.
He's the person that makes them tick.
Yeah.
I think if you stop him, it's stopping it at the source. So I think it's a case of I'm hoping that we get stuck in and put ourselves about. I feel like it is quite a physical game against West Ham. So I'm hoping that we do get stuck into them and hopefully we can beat them in the midfield. But I feel like sometimes that's where we lack.
So are you saying Declan Rice against Hendo is potentially the epic battle in midfield, and that because let's be honest, Declan Rice is whilst people say he's a CDM, he can do both. He can play DM, he can play 8 and go box to box. He's got a bit of everything, and he's an athlete. He can run, and I do feel that battle between Hendo and Rice would be phenomenal, because there's a lot of quarters that say that Rice should and effectively potentially has replaced Henderson in the England setup, because Rice has been getting more game time than him. What's your thoughts, SS? Do you feel that is the battle, the Titanic battle that could decide this game, Hendo versus Rice in that midfield?
Possibly. I think it depends what formation they go with, because like you say, away to Liverpool, they are going to be physical. They are going to sit in, I think. I don't think West Ham are going to come out of the traps and try and score 3 goals like they did at home. I think they're very different away from home under David Moyes. And, you've seen teams like Leeds that refuse to change their style, go to Liverpool, get absolutely hammered. So we'll, pardon the pun, but we'll Declan Rice play in CDM and protect that back four. Dawson and Zuma and Fabianski isn't the strongest of defences, in my opinion. So that Rice might be sacrificed in that way to do a little bit more of the dirty work, or will they play him a bit further forward? So it all depends on what kind of shape they play. But no, I do agree. I think Rice is the talisman. He is the main man. And if you can neutralise him, like Courtney says, I think you're halfway to winning the game. So I agree. It's that midfield battle. And I think when we get into the lineup predictions, I think that's going to be an important selection, because Fabinho's in there, but those other two have been changing quite a lot recently. We've seen Curtis Jones come in, now have a knock. Thiago come in and get a knock. Ox has not really taken his chances. Will Naby come back in? Hendo's been inconsistent in the team. Sometimes he comes on, sometimes he comes off. So it might not necessarily be Henderson versus Rice. It might be Henderson for an hour and then Keita for half an hour, or an Elliott or somebody like that. So I think, in my opinion, I would probably put two players up against Declan Rice, and when you do make that sub in midfield, make it that player that's been marking him, just so because Declan Rice versus Henderson, you've mentioned Rice has already replaced him in the England team because he's younger, he's fitter, he can go for longer. So let Henderson give him everything he's got for an hour, and then put someone else up against Rice again for the last half hour, just as he's going to start to, get slightly ahead of a Henderson, for example. So yeah, I think if we manage it right, we've got more star players than they have. We can neutralise the likes of Rice and Bowen. They can't neutralise Diaz, Mane, Salah, and everybody else. So we should come out victors.
It could be famous last words, because this fixture does worry me, because for this reason, and Barker Senior makes a very, very good assessment. Ultimately, great save by the goalkeeper. Sorry guys, Everton have just had a corner, 83 minutes played. Goalkeeper has literally clawed it back off the line. Nope, they've given it as a goal. It was in. He was just behind the line. Oh, God, he was literally just behind the line.
Great effort, though, from the non-league side.
Mate, great. Solomon Rondon with another goal. Mate, great effort from the goalkeeper. I mean, it looks... Hold on, we're watching the replay. Ball comes in. It's played from the corner. They get the cross in from Townsend. Rondon gets up. Yeah, it's behind the line. Oh, when you see it there... Oh, Paul. Oh, it's welling. It's weighing. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Yeah, it's weighing. But the keeper's done well to get to it, but he's literally just behind the line. Rondon gets up. It's a good header from Rondon as well. Pins the defender, stops him from getting up. The defender Reese pins him and then gets the head on it. Everton 2, Bournemouth 0. Unfortunately, guys, it looks like the Blues shite are going through. Never mind, we move. Hopefully, we get them in the next round and put them out.
They've done the draw already. We got Forest or Huddersfield in the next round away.
Ooh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Ooh, Forest or Huddersfield.
It'll be Palace, Everton, Southampton, City, Borough, Chelsea, and Forest or Huddersfield against Liverpool. So could be all. It's going to be in all Premier League semi-finals, really, isn't it? Some big games, and you're going to get City, Chelsea, or Liverpool against each other in one of the semi-finals, quite possibly. So all the big boys in the cup.
I'll take Huddersfield. I'll take a game against Huddersfield.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, shout out to my little cousin Jaheim, who actually plays for Huddersfield as well. He's in their under 23 squad, and has made. I think he's made an appearance for the first team as well. Actually, I think he's made an appearance for the first team.
A game away from Wembley again.
That's why I'll take Huddersfield, because I'll be tapping him up. Yeah, so
not bad though, is it? Beat a championship side, and we're at Wembley again, semi-finals. So,
but okay, look, let's because we've just stumbled upon this. I don't like semi-finals at Wembley. I don't like it. I don't like it, because for some teams it's like, oh, you get a day out for a semi-finals. No, you get there to the home of football if you make it to the finals. The FA have got to get rid of that. They've got to get rid of it.
I used to play at Villa Park and Old Trafford. I thought that was brilliant.
And again, Villa Park staple Premier League or English stadium. They used to play England games at Villa Park. Because it's a decent ground. But this semi-final business at Wembley is bollocks. It's bollocks. And that'd be funny if a non-league side or a League One side make it through. Yeah. You think about the gate receipts that they could potentially get from a semi-final, as opposed to the allocation of receipts or allocation of money they're going to get from Wembley. I think they'd probably rather the gate receipts, surely. If a big team rolls into town.
I think it made sense when you've got, say, two northern teams in a semi-final. They're coming all the way down to Wembley to play a semi. If you've got Man City v Liverpool in the semi-final, they could play at Old Trafford because it's round the corner for the pair of them. So I agree with you. I think it takes a little bit of the shine off. Wembley should be the showpiece, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should be. Big shout out to you here, Karim. Rice is a B-Tech Henderson. Bowen is a danger man. Imagine player. Diaz and Mane running at Dawson and Zuma. 3-0 FC winning coming. Look, I'm here for it, but the last time out suggests a little bit something different. So let's actually...
Didn't have Diaz then. Didn't have Diaz.
Good point.
I am here for it. Yeah, I want to see nothing more than Liverpool wipe the floor with West Ham, solely because the quadruple is still within sights. Let's not try and dampen the spirits. We've won the League Cup, which is a nice early boost. It's the only bit of silverware that's available for winning this point in the season, and we've won it. Yeah, we're into the latter stage of the FA Cup, heading into obviously the next round. We're still in the Champions League, and we're still in hunt for the Premier League. You know, there's got to be no other kind of boost that you need, yeah, other than to go out and beat West Ham than the fact that the quadruple is still on. So we have got to get a result, especially because Manchester City made it out by the skin of their teeth at Goodison with a win from a poor VAR reffing decision. So the pressure, I would say the pressure is on us to go and get this result, to keep that pressure on Manchester City. We have got a game in hand, yeah, and then we still have to go to the Etihad. We cannot afford to lose this game. Barcasina drops an absolute bombshell, guys.
Obviously, it's United.
Do you know it's weird, isn't it? Because
red? Are we red on Sunday?
I'm red.
Are we red on Sunday? This is the question. Are we red on fucking Sunday?
100%. Like, come on, Ronaldo.
Hold on a second.
Legit.
Oh, it's funny, isn't it? Because United are going to be wanting us to win as well. You know, West Ham and United are going for that fourth spot. So we're in the weird situation where Liverpool
is an ally right now.
Yeah, Liverpool and United want each other to win this weekend, which is I don't think it's happened in a long time.
Oh God, I've never ever. Do you know what? I hate that celebration.
Oh no, it's everywhere as well.
Oh my kids run around doing it right away from Regan, who's 11, right the way to Remy, who's 7.
Why are you allowing that?
I don't like literally. There is forfeits and punishments for that. Yeah, but they actually think I'm a joke man and just do it anyway. Yeah, it's just I hate it. Like I actually hate it. But on Sunday, if he scores, I'll be running around my front room doing the.
I think if they were at home, maybe, but away to City, I know they've, got decent results against them in the past, but they're in the mud at the minute, aren't they? I don't see anything at that one.
Do you know what? City have not been playing great. They've not been playing great football. A bit of a wobble. They're rattled. They are rattled. The Everton skin of their teeth 1-0 tells you, and the Pep borderline sly meltdown about how Liverpool are his nemesis.
We're coming.
We're coming, mate. They're rattled. So I wouldn't be surprised if United, one or two things happen.
Oh, if they pulled out the bag.
United are going to get a little sneaky 1-0, or they're going to get absolutely annihilated. One or two things are going to happen. They're getting blown away. Like I'm talking like a 6 or 7 hammering from City, or they're going to nick a cheeky little 2-1 with Ronaldo popping up.
Thing is, though, you'll never hear the end of it. If United beat them, it's literally Twitter is just going to be full of them. It's going to be full of them being like, yeah, it's them.
I think comfortable home win.
No.
Yeah, but you're Mr. Glass half fucking empty, ain't you? That's the thing.
Got me this far in life.
yeah. You're Mr. Glass half fucking empty. Like no, it's definitely going to be a loss.
Can't deny. That is me.
Manifest that shit.
This is what I'm saying, man. Speak it into existence, SS.
Level everybody out.
Look, he's even wearing a blue Puma top. If ever that's a City
blue,
top,
white. Colourblind.
It looks blue on the City on the Puma sign. That's blue. No,
no, it's white and grey.
Is it white and grey? Oh, it looks very City.
It does look a bit strange on my camera. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, it looks very City.
I didn't mean to wear their brand. Sorry.
Yeah, but no, I don't know, man. I mean, guys in the comments, like it's red on the weekend. Surely, it can only be red on the weekend.
Yeah, obviously you're going to support them.
Yeah, it's got to be red. United fans, don't hold this to me, but it is red on the weekend because we need for them to drop some freaking points. I'm telling you that, and then we've got to go and do our job against West Ham as well. To be honest, so So let's jump back into the West Ham segment of the show. Talk to me about the starting lineup, guys, before we get into the open conversation about the current headlines and current affairs in football. So talk to me about the starting lineup. Who do we reckon from the goalkeeper right the way to the back four, to the midfield, to the strikers? Courtney B, I'll go with you first.
I'm saying we go quite strong. I'm saying we go strong. We're going for the win. We need the 3 points. Klopp knows what's up. He knows that we need to keep this run of games going, get the 3 points onto the next game. So Ali and net.
Yep.
Robbo.
Yep.
Van Dijk.
Yep.
Matip.
Okay.
Trent.
Yeah.
Ab.
Mm-hmm.
Hendo.
Mm-hmm.
Is Thiago still out?
Yeah.
He's back earliest for the Inter Milan game.
For the Inter Milan game. And Jones is out, and because he took a knock at Norwich, didn't he?
He was on.
Yeah.
We'll get into
Oh,
that.
he was on fire. I thought he had a great game.
We're gonna get into that.
Oh, so it's that third one where it's like, I know Ox is definitely a no.
Elliot.
It's a definite no. For me, it's between Elliot
Naby
or Keita. I could see either or.
I need to force your hand.
One.
Who you picking?
I'd
Because you can't play both.
I'd probably go Elliot. I feel like I don't know. I feel like that one is just the hardest one. Either or,
coin, isn't it?
One's going to be coming on for the other.
Family disagreements in the comments
at some point, and then I'm probably going to go. It's obviously Salah. Salah's just a given.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like that's
Is Bobby back? Is Bobby back fit?
No.
Okay, so no Bobby.
You've got Jota, Mane, Diaz to fit into two, really.
Because I feel like Jota should play in the middle, and then it's between Diaz and Mane.
Ouch.
You're gonna, you're gonna be. I know what's gonna happen here. You're gonna be disloyal, yeah, and you're gonna go for Diaz because you're on the Diaz hype train right now. I can tell.
It's a shiny new toy, isn't he?
I feel like I would.
Yeah,
I feel like I'd either do that or I'd put Mane on and then I'd put Diaz on at like the 70th minute. Give him those 20.
Cool. Because I have different thoughts on that. So SS, is your back four any different?
No.
Is your midfield any different?
Slightly.
Go on, talk
only
to me.
by one. Only because I think a lot of the players that didn't touch pitch midweek against Norwich are being saved for this one. So the fact Elliot came on and Naby didn't makes me think that Naby starts against West Ham. Might be completely wrong, but I'm trying to get in the mind of good old Jurgen. And in the front three. I think personally, I don't think Jota's quite there yet. I think Mane, Salah, and Diaz are all much more match fit, ready to start this game. I think Jota's the one that will come on as a sub. So I would expect Mane again through the middle, who's looked quite good. I don't think you move Diaz from that left-hand side because he's been phenomenal. And Mohamed Salah is the best player in the world, so he starts on the right for me.
Amen. I feel the same. I think that although I differ from the Naby, I think that Elliot starts because he came on. They were probably trying to get some minutes into his legs, ready for West Ham. So I think Elliot starts and Naby then comes on partway through for that game as well. Although it's going to be physical in that middle. So Naby adds a little bit more steel than Elliot, solely because of the combative nature, and his ball retention, I think, would be slightly better than Elliot's. We saw with the physical battle with Elliot in the Inter Milan game, I think it was, wasn't it? When he was just he struggled. And it was interesting because that reminds me, I saw a picture, I don't know if you all saw it, like a then and now, of Trent from the Champions League final, which we lost against Real Madrid. And then the one from the Champions League, which we won. Yeah. Oh, no, sorry, when we won the league, sorry.
Beefy.
He has wedged up, boy. He is wedged up. So I reckon in the next year, 2 years, Elliot's going to be in that gym because,
Just loan him to Bayern Munich for a year. He'll come back an absolute unit.
well, this is it. I think he's going. I think he needs a bit of gym work because he's a bit slight, isn't he, in stature anyway. But then again, we need to be careful. We don't need another Shaqiri on our hands. Do you know what I mean? Who's got half the size of your head and is not very mobile, because at the moment he's still quite mobile. So it'll be interesting to see how he develops physically. But I do think the physical battle might be better suited to Naby, and I don't disagree with that front three. I think that the front three picks itself currently in terms of the form that Diaz is in. He seems undroppable to me. Mane is in a decent vein of form as well, also playing through the middle. And Salah is in a decent vein of form. Obviously, we know what he's bringing to the table as well. So that's our starting lineup. Now, at this point in the show, we like to have sort of a free discussion about some of the current events in football. The big one to obviously talk about, or one of the big ones to obviously talk about, is Roman Abramovich and the protracted and potential sale of Chelsea Football Club. I mean, let's deep this, because Roman Abramovich came to English football and announced himself with some huge expenditure at Chelsea Football Club. For all Chelsea Football Club sins, and we can sit here and say that we don't like Chelsea Football Club, because me of all people, I hate them. I despise them as a fan group, as a football club. I just don't like Chelsea. But what you cannot ignore is how that man has changed the landscape of the Premier League. Before he came to the Premier League, no teams were spending that level of money. Manchester United was spending, but it wasn't that level of money. No owner in the Premier League since he's been here has invested more money in a football club than Roman Abramovich has. Yeah. Manchester City are close, but Abramovich started it.
Yeah.
I remember when you saw the likes of, who did they get? Veron.
Yeah.
Signed for Chelsea. Who else signed for Chelsea?
Crespo, Duff, Robin, Makaleli,
Crespo, Makaleli,
Carvalho, Ferreira,
Carvalho, the Mourinho factor, coming into Chelsea as well. Gudjonsson, Drogba, Ballack.
Yeah.
What we took? You said Makaleli already. Gallas. The list of players that have been through that, and we're talking players with honours as well, is crazy. The Champions League win. How many Champions Leagues they got now? Two Champions Leagues.
Yeah.
2 Champions Leagues,
Lost
multiple Premier League. Yeah, lost one final. Multiple Premier League titles, FA Cups, League Cups. The youth system they have in place there as well. Not to mention the amount of players they have out on loan as well. That club is unrecognisable from the club that he brought. And imagine, he actually wanted to buy Spurs. Can you imagine? He came to London to buy Spurs.
Yeah.
And ended up buying Chelsea.
I think I'd rather live in Chelsea than North London, put it that way. I think he liked the Kensington area slightly more.
Well, this is
West
it.
London.
But
good choice, really.
Is this really happening? And let's think subjective about this. Is this really happening? Is he really selling Chelsea Football Club? Because the statement he released on the Saturday evening was to say that he's selling the club.
Yeah, he said he's open to offers. He's wrote off debts, I think, already. 1.3 billion. He's wrote them off for the club.
And also the key factor is apparently any proceeds in terms of profit will go to the victims of the Ukrainian war. Is this a political move from Roman Abramovich? Is this a political strategy from Roman Abramovich, other than trying to save Chelsea Football Club? Because there's also rumours that he's been involved in the peace talks between Ukraine and between Ukraine and between Russia, solely because of his Jewish ties. I believe his mother is Jewish, and I also believe the Ukrainian Prime Minister has Jewish ties as well. So they've been actively trying to broker some kind of peace between Ukraine and Moscow. I mean, SS, I'll come to you first. What's your thought? Is this happening, or is he bluffing? Is he going to sell Chelsea Football Club?
No, I think it's happening. I think, like you said, the last 19 years, he's built Chelsea into an institution, hasn't he? Yeah, he's become the biggest sugar daddy known to man. The likes of City ownership, United ownership, they're owned by more than one person. It's a family, or it's a state like you have with Newcastle. But one person to bankroll a club to that level from where they were, they were fourth, fifth, sixth most seasons, and like you say, early days before Man City kind of came along, Chelsea pretty much had it all their own way, didn't they? So I do think it's come to an end. I think all good things do have to come to an end. And the fact that he's released a statement looking to sell it, he's sold all his London homes in Kensington as well. And I think he had to leave this one till last, didn't he, to part with it, because it's meant a lot to him. It's 20 years. It's not a short-term thing. He has literally been Mr. Chelsea, and the relationship that he's had with a lot of the players, the likes of John Terry tweeted today, bet that, Roman's the best, all that kind of thing. So, he's clearly, a good guy in and around the club. It's just, what's going on behind the scenes, where did his fortune come from? Where are his links? And, the fact that he's selling up quickly suggests that he thinks that he could be getting it seized pretty quick. So it can't all be legit, because if he had nothing to hide and nothing wrong, he wouldn't need to sell his prized possessions and his prized assets, would he? So for me, I think he's doing the right thing. He's mentioned about trying to make peace and any net proceeds to Ukraine, which, is saying all the right things. But at the end of the day, I think it is happening, and he is selling the club. So, they've literally won every trophy they could possibly win in his time. There was a little while where, the Champions League was eluding them, wasn't it? They got to the semi-finals against Liverpool a couple of times and lost them both. And eventually they got over the line in 2012, beating Bayern Munich in their own backyard. But yeah, I think the time has come. It just depends what happens next, because, he's looking for £3 billion for the club. He was linked to selling it to a Swiss billionaire. I think his name was Weiss, who wasn't
priced, didn't he?
Yeah, he wasn't prepared to pay that amount of money. He needed a consortium to get anywhere close to that. And it's one of them when you know that the seller is desperate and pretty much sitting on a bit of a time bomb, because it could be seized tomorrow. So he wants something out of it. If it's £500 million, I think he probably needs to take it. So I think the thing for me looking forward is, how much are the new owners going to be looking to put in on a consistent basis? Are they going to be, like FSG levels where, just little bits here and there to keep you in and around the top, but trying to drag it out as much as possible? Or are they going to be like, Manchester City, Newcastle level, where they're just right, let's go again, same level of investment? Because, for me, Chelsea are in a very strong position either way. They bought Lukaku for 97 million in the summer, and they still made a profit. You mentioned the loan brigade they've got out, that they've got so many players in that squad that they could literally probably make £300 million in the summer without weakening their squad. Players that don't even play for them, they can raise some serious funds. So yeah, I think he's going. I think long term, they might not be quite as strong in terms of, their power in the transfer market, but I think that the Abramovich effect has, made them into a top club, and it's going to take a long time for them to fall away. I don't think they're going to be matching Liverpool and City anytime soon, but I think they'll be a top 4 club for quite a few years yet.
I'll give you my take on this before I go to you, Courtney. I think it's political strategy. The reason why I think it's political strategy is solely because I don't think that the British government are in a position to start freezing his assets because he owns Chelsea Football Club. If they were to freeze his assets, the catastrophic knock-on effect that could have in the English game would be, those ripples will be felt in more than one area of the game, not solely just for Chelsea. That could be huge. You're talking about potentially freezing the assets of someone. We're talking about wages not getting paid. We're talking about bills at the club not getting paid. That could potentially put, and again, I don't know Chelsea's financial situation, but it could potentially put Chelsea in a position where, and again, reading it on the face, again, without knowing all the financial situation before you Chelsea fans come for me in my DMs and my mentions. But when an owner, and we think about what happened with Birmingham City, do we all remember their owner who had that $1 billion hair company? He had salons and whatever not in China, wherever he had it. Can't remember what his name was. And he put money into Birmingham City. I think, what cup did they win? The League Cup under Birmingham.
Yeah,
Under him they won under him they won the League Cup. And then his assets got frozen by the Chinese government, and it was game over. It was game over. Birmingham couldn't pay wages. They couldn't do anything. The club then managed to get it lifted so that they could sell the club. The man ended up in prison, and we've never heard from him ever since. I don't see that with Roman Abramovich. He's too powerful. He's too much of an influence. So I think this is a game of political game of cards. Also, who has the funds to buy Chelsea Football Club? £3 billion. That's not chump change. That's huge. That's huge sums of money. 3 billion. So if Chelsea's worth 3 billion, imagine what Manchester United or Liverpool Football Club's worth.
But like you say, it's not just the 3 billion on day one, it's the weekly wages. I mean, what is the wage budget at Chelsea? You mentioned the squad of 23. They've got 30 players out on loan that they're paying wages.
Exactly. So who as an investor is going to want to come in there and go, yeah, we'll buy this?
You ain't getting 3 billion, put it that way.
And you look at the stadium, can't expand the stadium. There's nowhere for that stadium to go. Where's the potential growth in Chelsea Football Club? Where is the potential growth? Whereas if you look at Liverpool, for example, being an example, the owners brought Liverpool at the right time. You could see the growth.
Yeah.
Where's the growth in Chelsea Football Club? So
I think that's difference. Sorry,
yeah, that is a difference. No, that is a difference. Anybody looking to buy that, and Courtney, I'll come to you, they've got to be thinking, what in the hell am I going to do with this? I've got to outlay £3 billion and I've got to pay the wages? Nah. do you know what I mean? So it's either going to be a cut price sell, like a silly cut price sell, like the bargains you get in family bargains, yeah, or it ain't going nowhere. He just put it up for sale for political strategy.
Thing is, though, you don't know, because some of these people that are like mega rich, they don't give a fuck what they do with their money. That could be like spare change to someone. Do you know what I mean? Like some people, they don't really care. They don't look at it as a business kind of choice. They're not going to funnel money into it, because I think football is one of them, isn't it? It can backfire massively. I think it's very high risk. So I think if whoever's buying Chelsea, I think they're going to be someone that flounce their money. Like they're not going to be looking at it as a business decision. I think he's probably selling it. I think he's being forced to, obviously, with everything going on. I definitely think he's selling it. The fact that he's selling his homes, like everything, like he's come out and made the statement. I think he would have prolonged it if it was like a game of chess. I feel like he would have prolonged it as long as he could. But I think maybe it could have been the case where they've turned around and been like, look, if you don't sell it, we'll seize it. You've got this much time to sell it, blah, blah, blah. And he's probably thinking, obviously, he loves the club. And he's thinking, I don't want that to happen to the club. And that's why he's surrendered, basically.
I agree.
Potentially, if you don't sell it, we'll seize it. That could be an ultimatum that is on the table for Roman Abramovich. Because I think personally, freezing and seizing that asset would be catastrophic. I don't think the British government want to do that. I really, really don't, because that's livelihoods, that's wage, that's everything. Yeah, that like I said, the ripple effect around the game that would have would be unreal. That would be wild. That would be wild to see that happen to Chelsea Football Club.
I mean, that would be a serious record of a purchase of a club, wouldn't it? I mean, you look at
it would be
what Courtney says is spot on, because if you look at the previous sales, think of Liverpool. FSG are a business model. They bought Liverpool at their absolute lowest, their absolute worst, and looked at opportunity of a sleeping giant and thought, do you know what? We buy them here. we build them to this by being smart, by improving the squad, football decisions, improving the training, improving the stadium, and then when we do look to sell it in 20 years' time, whatever it might be, it's going to be worth 4 or 5 times that. And you look at Chelsea. He's looking for the top dollar. They're the current European and world champions. They're not in a dip. Right? They're not going to win the Premier League this season, but they're not in a dip. That Chelsea's stock is high. So to buy in at 3 billion, I totally agree with Courtney. You're not looking for a profit. You're not going to sell it for 5 billion in 2 years' time, are you?
No.
So
where's the growth? Yeah, where's the growth?
There is no money to be won. And like you say, you look at Roman Abramovich. He's writing off 1.3 billion of debt because even he hasn't made money on it. Really, he's looking to get a crazy comeback. But you think of the money that he's spent on player wages and transfer fees and everything like that. He's lost some serious cash no matter what he sells his club at. So, like Conor McGregor or on Twitter saying he fancies it. It's going to be like a playboy. It's going to be someone that's just got stupid money that wants to walk in and start all up. Start off on the top.
Conor McGregor does not have the money.
That's a lot of money.
He don't have that money. I'm sorry, he don't have that money. I don't care what anyone says. That man don't have that money. He ain't got that money. He ain't got that money. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, who has that level
not one person
of money to buy the club, number one, and the level of wealth to sustain it?
Oil people.
Yeah. Who are the very people they're trying to get out of the club? What consortium of people has that level of money? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I just think to myself, where is the possibility around that club? It just doesn't it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, if you look at Liverpool Football Club, right, at the time when they brought it, they paid. So Liverpool paid 600 million for it when they brought it, and they wrote off all the debts. Yeah, I believe it was 600 million, wasn't it?
I think it's 300. Million? I think they
I thought it was 300.
Yeah, they forced them into the sale, didn't they? 300 million.
Okay, so 300. Excuse me, 300 million.
It's
300
worth like
million.
3 billion now, isn't it?
It's worth something like 2.5 billion.
Wow.
2.5 billion. This is what I'm saying. So if you're
so he's asking there.
He's asking for silly money. 300 million, and they wrote off all the debts. Yeah. He's asking for silly dough because I don't see the protracted growth in that. The only way they grow that is by moving Stamford Bridge, by moving it. They have to then move that stadium to then get what is it, a 45,000 seater stadium, 40,000 seater stadium?
The only thing he hasn't really done, isn't it, is improved the actual
facilities.
Stadium. Yeah,
he's not improved the facilities. There was talk of them moving to Battersea at the power station. That never happened because the Chelsea owners and supporters club or something own part of the stadium. So they were like, "No, we ain't moving it," and the fans outvoted them. They're like, "No, we ain't moving it. We're staying here forever." So it just doesn't make sense to me. So anyone that's looking to buy that has got to have some serious net worth. Anyway, we digress. We'll jog it on slightly as we come to the end of the show. Let's talk FA Cup Norwich real quick. Let's delve into it. So, bit scary that, boys and girls. I don't think we painted ourselves in glory. What's your thoughts?
I thought it was a game of two halves. I thought we started in second gear and we're very comfortable, and then we lost the second half 1-0 because we took our foot off the pedal and couldn't really get back into it. So it's one of them. As long as you get through, it's fine. Second gear against Norwich with a lot of changes was enough. I thought Joe Gomez looked actually quite good on the ball. He looked quite confident. Taki Minamino's goals again, missed the cup, especially his second one was
hold on,
very tasty.
Hold on. Before we move on. Taki Minamino. Yeah. SS. Would you now live on stream?
I knew this was going to come.
Would you? Yeah. Would you now live on stream admit that this man adds value to our playing squad?
Yeah, you did say you wanted to sell him in the summer. I'm sure I remember you saying that.
Yeah, no.
Courtney, get onto him. Courtney, get onto him.
I'm pretty sure I
not
remember
let
you
him
saying
off.
that before.
Do not let this man off the hook.
Yeah. So I said, I was like, no, Taki stays.
Taki stays. Taki
No,
stays.
I mean, to be fair, he's been incredible in the cups this season. If you want to win 4 trophies, you do need some Takis. But I'd still sell him in the summer. I'd still would, because what else does he want in his career? Does he just want to play against Norwich and
Whoa. It doesn't matter what Taki wants. It's what we want as the fans. What does the club want? What do the fans want? We don't ask Origi if he's upset that he's not playing.
Yeah, but he'll probably leave in the summer as well, won't he? They're not going to stick around forever.
I'm gonna give you an example.
Taki's happy, I'm telling you.
Of a player. Again, Park Ji-sung. Prime example.
He was in their first 11 though. That was different.
No, he wasn't.
He was for a long time. He was a very
no. Park Ji-sung was a player that you brought in to do a job. You would turn around and say to him, "Go and mark that man out of the game," and he would mark him out of the game.
Yeah, but in the Champions League, he wasn't a League Cup player.
Regardless, he was a cup player. Doesn't matter. He was not. He was a cup player. How many Premier League? Let's see how many Premier League appearances that Park.
He was a very important player for Man United.
Park Ji-sung. How many Premier League appearances? No, because that's what I compare it to.
No, Minamino's he's a great little player for Norwich in the cup and lower league opposition. But is that all he wants from his career? He's not a young lad, is he?
Yeah, but why are you bothered about him? What he wants?
If he's happy with that, then great. If he's happy with that, brilliant.
Why sell him? If he's happy to sit on the bench and get the glory from the cups, let him be there.
Park Ji-sung Premier League appearances in 2000 he made 13. Yeah.
Okay.
2000 he made 13.
2000.
No, sorry, 2009. Sorry, 2009 to 2010 he made 17 Premier League appearances. 2010 to 2011, 15. 2011 to 2012, 17. That doesn't tell me he was an important.
What about
Premier
the years before that?
Okay, let's go back.
Because he joined in 05, 06, 07, something like that.
Let's go back. Hold on. Premier League statistics. Bear with me. Park Ji-sung. Right.
I think he was quite an important player for them for a little while.
I beg to differ. So let's have a look. How far do you want to go back?
I think he joined in 05, 06, something like that.
05, 06. Do you want to go all the way back then, or do you want to go a little bit?
No, that's good with me.
Okay, cool. 05, 06, he played 34.
Okay, that's a lot.
06, 07, he did 14.
Yeah.
06, 07, 14. 06, 07, 08, 12. 07, 08, 12.
08, 09, 25.
09, 10, 17.
There's 17 more than Minamino gets, though, isn't it? Minamino doesn't feature in the Prem at all, does he?
But this is what I'm saying. Different, and this is my whole thing about it. Different players have different roles in different squads. You need a squad to go and complete. We're talking about a quadruple. We're potentially talking about a quadruple here. Yes, we're not top of the league, but we've won the League Cup. We're into the later stages of the Champions League. We're into the latter stage of the FA Cup. For the first time, we are in February, in March, and we're still in all 4 fucking competitions. And the reason why we're in all 4 competitions, because we have players like Minamino, which are happy to play a peripheral role. And when called upon, my man's bagging goals. What more can you ask for the man? There you go. Go and play.
No, I agree, but I agree with you. I would keep him, but my only point is that if that's all you want out of your career, then it's pretty pathetic.
No, don't come for him like that. That's tight. Don't come for him
all he wants to do is score goals against League Two players.
If you was him, would you not play for Liverpool? Would you not do the role he's doing, or would you go
for if I was 8th choice forward, I'd leave tomorrow.
And go where?
Well, yeah.
anywhere that plays me, and that's my level.
No,
You'd rather be at
no.
Liverpool.
Not if I was attacking Minamino. I'd rather play week in, week out for Newcastle than play once every month for Liverpool.
No.
Because you look at it. He played against Norwich. He scored 2 cracking goals. He ain't got a look in for this weekend, has he? No chance. Even if he'd have scored 4, he wouldn't have started.
He's 20. He's 27. He's got so much time to do
Really?
that.
How has he got? He's got what, 3 years of his peak left, and he's going to waste it playing against League One and Championship.
But in those 3 years,
who are you going to play instead of him? Who are you going to play?
We've now got a front 5. You think about next season. You know, Diaz, Mane, Jota, Firmino, Salah.
Yeah,
3 of those 5 can play against a team in the cup, can't they? We've got Cade Gordon coming through. How long do you want to
you want to risk your most valuable assets playing in a League Cup game when we potentially got City on the weekend? Oh, I know, we ain't got fucking no one, so let's play them against Norwich and get injured, and then they're not available for City.
No, I'm saying I'd keep him. I'd keep him in terms of that makes sense, but I just, you know, for footballing ability that he has, it's just a shame that he's wasting it in League Cup matches, because he's going to play against Forest or Huddersfield in the next round. The round after that, we're going to have Everton, City, or Chelsea. He won't play, and he's not going to play for the rest of the season. He's not going to play in the Champions League. He's not going to play barely in the Prem run-in, and that's him again until the League Cup comes back around in September time.
Yeah, but at the end of your career, what do you look, especially in this period, because he's 27, he's still probably got 8 years left in the game. He could play till he's 35. Yeah, he's got 8 years left in the game. So at this stage in your career, what do you want to win? And you're playing for arguably one of the best teams in the world in front of some of the best fans in the world. You want trophies. He's currently got a Premier League trophy. So he passengered his way to a Premier League trophy. He was a passenger, yeah. But he's got a Prem. He's got a Prem, yeah. No, but regardless, he's got a Prem. Liam Brewster's got a Champions League medal. Come on. So Taki deserves a Prem. He's got a Prem. He's got a League Cup, yeah, which he was part of that. He could potentially lift an FA Cup. If we win the Champions League, he could potentially win the Champions League. If we lift the Premier League, he wins the Premier League. He's been here 5 minutes and could potentially walk and have 5 fucking trophies. Mate, that's what you want. You want to win trophies. You want to be part of it. You want to be in and around it and add value.
He was so good in the League Cup run that he didn't even get a look. He didn't even get a minute in the final. Didn't even play.
It don't matter. It doesn't matter. And
this is where Manchester City differ from us. And this is where we've been for such a long time of this opinion. Oh, we've got someone. They've got to play. They've got to play every single week. This is why Manchester City have competed for so long on so many fronts, because they've had the squad depth to do it. We finally have the squad depth, and you're trying to sell everyone. What the hell? We get a squad depth, and you want them all gone, mate. I can think of about 3 people that I would have out the door before him: Ox, Keita, and Origi. They'd all be on the first taxi out of freaking Liverpool, yeah, before Taki would. 100%. 110%. So for me, Taki Minamino is a sensation. Yeah. 2 goals against Norwich. Boom. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, SS. Norwich reserves, but yeah, we'll move.
You can only beat what's put in front of you, sir. You can only beat what's put in front of you.
When he gets put in against someone any good, he doesn't do anything, does he?
No, but again, because that's his level.
But there's no game time though, so it's kind of one of them as well.
But again, there's nothing wrong with a player admitting that's their level. But if that's your level, Liverpool Football Club are going to play up against those teams of that level. We need players which complement that game. It's about personnel across all the games. I don't want to see Diaz, Mane, Salah, Jota playing in those games. We saw what happened to Jota when he played against freaking, is it Midtjylland he played against? Or Malmo, whoever it was. They ended up with a fucking injury out for 3 months. I don't want to see that. You don't want that to happen. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh shit, we ain't got no fucking strikers. I know why we ain't got strikers, because we played all our strikers against those shithouse teams that want to hack us to shreds. Yeah, if Taki wants to be the sacrificial lamb, you go for it, sunshine. Score a couple goals on the way.
He's enjoying himself though. He's smiling.
He's having a whale of a time, mate. He's having a whale of a time. He's loving it. He's loving life.
Yeah. Couple of hooks from Klopp, everything's good. You know what I mean?
That's it. That is it. Right, let's get to a couple of these comments, because I feel these comments.
They're coming for me.
Dude, listen. Look. I've had to go back. I've had to go up. Right, here we go. Right, let's go to this one. My guy Taki.
Yep.
We missed Jones' second half. Yeah, Barcassino, I agree with you. Give some love to Taki, man. Oh my god! Look. He's just onto you. Look. The comments. Look, dude. Like, look. Look, these guys. Look. Okay, he was average. He was average. We know.
No, he was on about.
He was
about Taka.
He was average. What's this one? You want to keep quality squad. We can't afford to sell our best players and offer different. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, okay. This is a question: who are you signing as a replacement? Realistically, knowing full well that you have Diaz, Mane, Firmino, Jota, Salah. Realistically, who were you signing as a replacement to sit in behind those five?
Well, that's the thing. When you're looking at reserve games against Lincoln City, that's when you bring the youth through, isn't it? Cade Gordon is one of them. If you're 27 and you're still playing with the 18-year-olds in the cup, it's pathetic.
Who are you signing as a replacement?
You can't have a full squad of young ones though, because you need some maturity on the pitch.
Yeah, I get that, but you drop
one 14s out, you know.
Drop one or two players in that actually play weekly, but Minamino is literally a cup player. That's it, and that's fine. That's great. If we win League Cups and FA Cups and he fires us to the final, I'm all for it. All I'm saying is you know, in terms of ambition, you did, yeah, but in terms of ambition, if that's all you want out of your career, that's fine. But for me, I'd want to be in a first team in the league.
Okay, cool. So you'd want to be in the first. So okay, so he could.
So it's opinion, isn't it? Depends what you want in your career.
Oh, so he could have quite easily have gone to Southampton because they wanted him.
Yeah.
He could have quite easily have gone to Leeds.
Yeah.
Because they wanted him. They were actively looking at him. But if he'd have gone to Leeds, do you want to be fighting relegation, or do you want to be fighting week in, week out for your life at Southampton, or do you want to be playing in upper echelons with or playing week in, week out, or training week in, week out with the very best, and then going out and making a difference on the pitch in the cups to win your team some silverware? What would you rather do? Then turn up to Ellen Road. Turn up to Ellen Road every week and get battered.
My choice would be to be in the first team
by Liverpool.
I'd prefer the Leeds Southampton if it was me, but
really,
people will disagree. Yeah, I don't want to be some eighth choice forward. I mean, it's great to be part of Liverpool and win trophies, but when you're 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, yeah. But look at Kelleher, for example. He's been the cup goalie. He's won a cup now. He's started to get appearances, but eventually Kelleher's going to say, I want more. I want to go to a team where I'm first choice, and rightly so, because he has ambition.
Yeah, but Kelleher's what, 23?
Around that, probably.
20,
yeah,
23. He could quite easily. And let's jog it on from Taki. Let's look at Kelleher, because certain quarters have come out and said that he needs a move. He needs to move. He needs to step out of Alisson's shadow and all of that BS. Let's be very clear. He's a goalkeeper. As a goalkeeper, you can play into your late 30s.
Oh yeah.
The kid's what, 22?
Oh yeah, but I mean, eventually, 22. When he gets to the age of Minamino, he's going to be wanting to be first choice goalie by then, isn't he?
I wouldn't even say so. You could quite. Alisson Becker is what, 27, 28.
Yeah, but Kelleher's not going to be first choice goalie for Liverpool ever.
I'm just saying. Alisson. Let's look at the probability here. Yeah. So let's look at the ages. Let's have a look.
Let's see. 23, 29, is it? Something like that.
Let's see how old Quivine is. Okay, I was right. Quivine's 23. Alisson Becker is 29. Yeah. So there's 6 years difference between him and Ali. Yeah. So let's say that Alisson spends the rest of his career at Liverpool Football Club. Yeah. And he plays on until he's 36. Queef's still only 30. At 30, as a goalkeeper, you are now in your prime at 30. Yeah. Buffon is 45 and still playing.
If you've been a backup goalie until you're 30, there's no way you become the first choice when that player leaves. Liverpool would sign a new goalie and Kelleher would remain number 2. If you don't step out of that shadow before that time, you remain a number 2.
I don't think so. I generally
I
don't
do.
think so. I think that at 30, you become in your prime. You become less mistakes, less injury prone. Your vision's better. The way you read the game's better at 30 as a goalkeeper.
But we'd sign a replacement for Alisson. We wouldn't promote Kelleher as 30 years old to first choice.
But again, we look at it, and the man that's coming in behind him, Petaluga is how old? How old is Petaluga? Petaluga is 18. So personally, I think Liverpool, and again, what Klopp has said, Liverpool are building a goalkeeping dynasty here. They've got Alisson Becker, who's arguably one of the best goalkeepers in world football, if not the best goalkeeper in world football. They've got an able understudy in Caoimhin Kelleher, who has proved himself in terms of winning the League Cup for Liverpool and has kept the faith right through the tournament of Jurgen Klopp and his teammates as well. You've then got Petaluga, who's 18, 19, who's coming up behind him. I don't think Caoimhin needs to be going anywhere. I think, and personally, I think it would be a mistake for him. And we've seen goalkeepers make that mistake. Look at Danny Ward. Oh, I'm going to be a number 1. I'm going to challenge Schmeichel. Mate, you've not touched the grass at Leicester. You should have stayed your ass put, sunshine. You've not touched them. No, he was an able understudy. He wasn't a number 1. Doesn't possess the quality to be a number 1. Hence why he's behind Schmeichel. He doesn't possess the quality to be a number 1. Now, what's to say that if Caoimhin listens to all this bollocks that's surging around him saying, oh, you need to move to be a number 1, and he goes somewhere and his career just flops?
Or it could be Martinez, Arsenal to Villa, couldn't it?
Oh, certainly. It can go the other way. I totally agree with you. It can go the other way, 110%. But don't you think that, let's say, in the next 2-3 years' time, it could be a risk for him? Because we don't know what's going to happen with Alisson Becker. The injury, injuries. He loves a fucking thigh strain, Alisson, doesn't he? He loves a thigh strain. So I
think if you sit here in 3 years' time and Kelleher is still the backup goalie, eventually he's going to want more than a League Cup performance.
You never know. You never know. You don't know these players. A lot of them, some of them think, you know what? I'm at the world's best club.
Yeah.
I'm playing with the world's best players. Got the best coaches. I'm on good money. I play some games. Like, it's pretty chill. Like, it's bougie life.
That is what I want for Liverpool.
That's the choice, isn't it? That's the choice of a player. That's what separates my opinion to the next person. Some people are happy to become backups and play now and again and be part of a big club, and that's why teams like City and Liverpool and Chelsea have squads of 25, because they've got 13 players that are happy to sit on the bench. Whereas, like you say, you look at players that have left big clubs to go and make a name for themselves somewhere else, and they've created their own dynasty, and then maybe got a move to a different big club off the back of that. So there's no right or wrong answer for me. I just think it's all about personal preference in that way.
Oh, sure. And again, look, I'm not shooting down your point. You make a good point, and you're right. It is about personal preference of that player. But I think timing is everything. If you're Calla or you're attacking Mina, there is no other place that you want to be right now other than Liverpool.
No, you wouldn't leave now. But
yeah,
like you say,
you'd be a madman. You'd be a madman
if they win the League Cup and the FA Cup this season. It's Kelleher and Minamino, etc. What more? What do they do? Just try and win it again next year and admit they're not going to play in the big ones again?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
No,
from a fan perspective, why the hell not? Like, I want that for my club.
Me too.
They're contributing though. They're like, we want the 4, we get 2, you get 2. Like, we all
100%. I want that for my club. I want to sit there and be like, do you know what? And I'll eat a little bit of humble pie on this, because the jury was out for me on Calla. The jury was out. I was like, nah, this kid is not good enough. Honestly, because I saw him play at MK Dons, and he played at MK, and he did all right. And I was like, I'm not. And it may have been 3 years ago. I think that game was 3 years ago. I went to that game, and I was like I'm not sold. Like, it was a little bit for me. And again, I will say it openly, loud and proud on the stream. I was like, why in the hell are we not playing Karius? I felt Karius was more technically proficient than him, and I did. I felt he was more technically proficient. I thought Karius was getting a rough ride. Yeah, he was getting a rough ride. But since seeing Keller mature, and I think Liverpool have learnt from their mistakes with Karius, because I do think the club made some big mistakes with him, and I think we've learnt from our mistakes, and we're treating Queeve very different to how we treated Loris Karius. We're not just throwing a young goalkeeper in. And I also believe it's because we've got the best, if not one of the best goalkeepers in world football as our number one. The pressure is off of Queeve. There's no pressure there for him to go out and perform as such. Yeah, it's just all backing. And you look at what Henderson did at the end when he stuck him in front of the cameras and said, it was all him. Give him the credit. That's building him up. And again,
it's confidence as a keeper, though, 100%.
Sky high right now.
Yeah.
This keeper, his confidence will be sky high right now. So if we do have to play him in the FA Cup, let's say he plays in the FA Cup against Huddersfield. Like we're trying to win a league. I don't be playing Ali in that. I want to be playing in I was nervous watching Ali come on in the FA Cup last night. I'm like, please don't get injured because we got West Ham on the weekend. We need to win. Don't get injured. Do you know what I mean? Definitely, and like I said, he loves a fat 5-strain, our Ali, doesn't he? Like he kicks a ball and you see him go like that, and you're like, oh please no, because it could mean Adrian on the football pitch. Oh, oh God. Diaz's performances before we close, because I think that'd be a good place to end it. Have Liverpool signed an absolute find. I think it's just pure Suarez vibes. It's just Suarez vibes. Because did you see like the shithouse behavior where he's like riling the fans up and stuff like that? Like, I love it. I actually love it. SS, talk to me. It's Suarez vibes, isn't it? It is Suarez vibes.
No, I mean, like you say, you could not find like when we found Klopp, it was the perfect match, wasn't it? And again, Diaz has come in and he's already got it. You know, he's got the Liverpool way of playing. He suits the style of play. He's exactly what we needed, isn't he? He's good on the ball. He's fast. He cuts in on that right foot from that left hand side, and he comes back and defends and wins the ball back in his own half as well. You couldn't ask for more. I didn't expect him to become quite as good and important quite so quickly. You know, he's won a trophy in his 5th game or something, which is absolutely mental. So I think the rest of this season, it's a little bit of a still getting used to it. As good as he's been, I still don't expect to see the very best of Diaz till he's had a full pre-season and into next season. I think we're going to start to see some serious goal and assist tallies come next season. But yeah, an absolute find again. And you look at the likes of Mane, Firmino, Salah, Diaz, Jota. They've all cost less than £40 million. That's not a bad front five for that kind of money, is it?
That's some serious business. Real MVP is our scouting department. Just on that, I fear for Firmino. Seeing Mane go central, because I didn't know what was going to happen with the Diaz
on his face.
No. Listen, I am a huge.
Take those words out of your mouth.
No, I'm a huge Bobby fan. Like SS, you'll back me on this. I love Bobby. Yeah. I am Bobby's biggest fan. But he's getting a little bit injury prone. Yeah. The hammies are starting to get a bit tight. He's starting to get strains and so on and so forth. I just don't know if Bobby, unless he drops into an out-and-out number 10 position where he can just be creative and make us tick in the way that he does. I just don't know if Bobby can go again next season. Do you know what I mean? Because his goal tally's dropped off year on year. His running stats have dropped off year on year. Maybe we've seen the best. Maybe we have seen the best. And
I agree.
Mane coming central, because I was like, well, who's going to play out there, Mane or Diaz? Mane's coming central. So it's like, no, Diaz is playing. no, you're playing, bro.
And we've got Jota in there as well.
And Jota in the mix as well. Obviously, Salah's irreplaceable, but I just don't know, because we've seen already Jota and Firmino can't play together. They cannot play together. It just doesn't work. Yeah. So it's either Mane Jota, Diaz Jota, Firmino Mane, Diaz Firmino Mane, Diaz Firmino. Do you know what I mean? It just.
I personally think Mane and Salah get new contracts and Bobby misses out. That's my opinion.
I think so too, unless he's prepared to sign for significantly reduced terms in the way that we offer Ginny something, because if they're dangling a carrot for Milner, I can't see why they wouldn't dangle the carrot for Bobby, but I think it would be on heavily reduced terms. And personally, this is where what you're saying, SS, comes into it. If you're Bobby Firmino, do you back yourself to go elsewhere and be the difference?
Yeah.
Or do you turn around and say, I've got the world's best coach playing for one of the world's best teams in one of the world's best stadiums with the world's best facilities, and yeah, I'm taking a bit of a pay, but I can add a little bit of value to this team?
I don't think Klopp would let him go.
Maybe
Klopp
not, but
loves him.
I think
Like,
the decision lies with Bobby.
Definitely.
Maybe, I think so. I think he possibly could be too, because he along with Ginny kind of kick-started that Klopp era. Do you see what I'm saying? They were fun. They were fundamentals in that. So I don't think Jurgen Klopp would see him just walk through the door. But what I do feel is it's where I think it will be. I think the ball will be firmly in Firmino's court as to what he wants to do. Whether he wants to take maybe something on reduced terms and stay, or whether he backs himself to go somewhere and produce the same level of performances that we're used to. We've seen Wijnaldum go, fuck that shit, I back myself to go somewhere else and be quality, and now my man's hugging bench. So
yeah,
what's he gonna do? Do you know what I mean?
100%.
I hope so. But I still
100%.
fear for him.
He's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere.
After Courtney's giving us undying love for Bobby Firmino at the end of the show, guys, this has been a longer one than normal, but it's good. I love it. We're going to end now anyway. Hold on, what we got here?
We've got no predictions.
Would be good for a team.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Score predictions. Sorry, good shout, Courtney. Score predictions. Oh, hold on, what's this?
You didn't say that. That's your favourite bit. You've been waiting for the last hour and 26 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Klopp would
Nearly
move
forgot.
into midfield.
Most important part of the whole show.
There's some good shouts in here. Klopp would move into midfield before selling him. Firmino would be good. Yeah, I agree. Coming off the bench, I agree. Right, score predictions. For the first time in a long time, I'm going to go first. I think 2-1 Liverpool.
Me too.
I'm going to go 2-1. SS, you going 2-1 as well?
Yeah. I think West Ham score. But I think they get over the line.
I think they score first as well.
Quite possibly.
I think they score first. I think we get a rude awakening. I think they score first.
Nah.
And then we fight back. Courts, what are you saying?
3-1.
3-1. Okay. 3-1 Liverpool.
3-1. I think it'll be a comfortable win. I don't think that they'll score first.
Goal scorers?
Diaz.
Be nice.
Van Dijk.
Ooh. Verge. What header?
Yeah, set piece.
Love that.
Ooh. Okay. So Verge.
He's dominant in the box lately. I've been seeing him getting up for them.
Yeah, he's been on it, innit? So what?
Yeah.
So we're going Verge, Diaz, and who? Sorry,
Salah.
SS.
Trent, Mane, and Bowen.
Trent. What, free kick?
Possibly.
Ooh.
Or a cheeky little winner like he did against Villa at edge of the box.
Ooh. So Trent, Mane, and Bowen. Yeah.
Yeah.
No Salah.
Can't score every game.
Oh, we can. Mo Salah says come outside.
No, Mane's been in some decent form lately, hasn't he? Been getting a couple of goals, so Sadio's turn.
I'm going Salah double. And
I didn't say my West Ham player, Zuma.
Zuma?
Yeah.
Yo, the ginger tabby says come outside. Yeah, I'm going Salah double, and I'm going Bowen for West Ham. I think Bowen will score. I think it's written for Bowen to score. For him to kind of say, should have picked me.
We only sign players that score against us, don't we? So be a good start for him.
This is what I'm saying. I think it's written for him to score against us. Right, guys, thank you for staying with us so long. It's much appreciated. SS, what we got coming up over the course of the weekend?
We have got Inter Milan second leg previewing. full time. Yep. Well, the game's on Tuesday, so we might have to do a Monday night
Sunday
jobby.
or Monday, yeah.
And then who we got after that?
Very good question. Who have we got after that? One moment, please, caller.
Brighton away, so we'll do a little preview for Brighton as well.
Yeah, that's going to be a shithouse game as well, isn't it? Because
revenge in that one as well. That was a 2-2 draw at home, 2-0 up.
We do need revenge in that.
That was a bad game. Though I was angry.
Yeah, that's a big 2 points thrown away, isn't it?
But Brighton have kind of disappeared a little bit off a cliff, haven't they? Been struggling a little bit, haven't they?
Oh, yeah.
These
teams have been started off quite strong towards the start of the season, and they just dropped off.
A bit like Brentford, similar. Yeah. They were both up there, weren't they?
We played them when they were doing well.
Yeah, that was a draw as well, wasn't it? Away to Brentford. So
yeah, they've just fizzled away a little bit, haven't they?
Yeah,
just fizzled away a little bit. Right, guys. Oh, this is such a touch from the Brentford from the Boreham Wood players and the Everton players. They all wore Ukrainian flags, which is fantastic. Yeah, it's a good touch. It's a good touch. Right, guys. That's the end of the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
I've been Tiago's father. This has been Courtney B, and this has been my co-host and co-founder, chief in command. I don't know what else is going to make his head swell. Southern Scouser. We're over and we're out.